All right. I want you to think of someone who you'd have absolutely no trouble trading lives with. It can be anyone. It can be a sister, a coworker, it can be Beyonce for all I care. But just think of someone who wields all of the traits that you desire. Someone who you just want to be. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, all of you wrong. You should not have done that, and you failed the test. That's right, it was a test. What you were supposed to say was no. While there are some qualities about myself that I'd like to improve, I would never go as far as to say that I would rather be another person than my own awesome self. You guys all get zeros. Though, I do want you all to reflect momentarily. When you thought of that one person, what was your attitude towards them? Were you inspired, jealous, enraptured? Now dive deeper into those emotions. What is it about that person that makes you feel this way? What qualities about them influence your perception of them? What measures are you willing to take in order to have said qualities? When thinking of that ideal individual, you were idolizing them. And you're probably like, what? No. Because when you think of idolizing, you think of a K-pop idol group or a scary Ariana Grande impersonator. But no. Idolization, while still holding the same degree of obsession, is more realistic. All it entails is admiring someone excessively. And because of that, we begin to form instances of self-doubt. And we begin to hate ourselves as a result from it. Now, how? We'll get into that later. But for now, we have to understand that idolization is not a good thing, and we should not be doing it. So that's why I want you all to go back to that person who you were thinking of at the beginning. The person who could wield no faults. Think of certain faults about them. Think of what you like and allow those distinctions to occur. Okay. So humans, we tend to have eager eyes, right? We look around from place to place, event to event, person to person, and scrutinize what we like and what we dislike about them. Now, in regards to people, well, let's say we're looking at that one math genius in our class, right? Who can do derivatives in the blink of an eye. We long to have that level of mathematical competence, and unknowingly, we develop contempt. Now, the question is, to whom? Do we hate the person who's good at math, who has all of the traits that we desire? Or do we hate ourselves for being deficient in them? That's the question. So I have a sister, and here comes the anecdotes. But you know what? This applies. And my sister, she's graduating this year. She's pretty much perfect in everything. I mean, you guys can check out her LinkedIn page if you want. And maybe it's because I'm her sister, but I would oftentimes feel exasperated just thinking of all of her accomplishments. And okay, let's face it, I was jealous. And before, I assumed that all that jealousy and pent-up anger was directed at her, which I felt incredibly guilty about. But in actuality, it was towards myself. I began to feel frustrated with myself because I thought, you know what, why can't you do things the same level as she can? I loathed myself because, you know what, she can do things better than you. And I thought I was inadequate in comparison to her. I compared our speech and debate wins. I compared our piano wins, and everything that she can do better than me. And as a result, my self-esteem plummeted. And all these thoughts were circling my head, and I wondered desperately, how can I improve? How can I be more like her when, bam, it hit me? I have to be her. And at that moment right there, I began to idolize. I began to take steps to be her. Now, psychology actually has a cool name for it. It's called the hero worship. I know, right? Now, okay, let me preface this. I wouldn't say that I worship her. Now, was I inspired? Absolutely. And that's exactly what hero worship is derived from, inspiration. Now, when you're inspired by someone, you're motivated to embody the same exact characteristics as them in order to help attain your own goals. And that is a fantastic thing. In fact, we should constantly be applying the hero worship to our daily lives. It helps us formulate relationships and realize that we're all just human. But I took it a notch too far. And because of that low self-esteem and that overshot definition of hero worship, I began to set my sister up on a pedestal and have her serve as a minimum requirement as to what I thought I should be. I began to see, well, you know what? She's so wildly successful and passionate and amazing, and I'm nothing. So I just want to encapsulate her character, and I also want to attain that level of influence, and I want to be her. But I'm not. And who am I to say that she's superior to me in any way? Who are you all to say that somebody else is better than you? We fail to realize that all we really are is just a massive clump of cells, right? Innately, we're just cells. Cells with a massive clump of beliefs and fears and expectations, those in which heavily differ from one another. So why waste our time perceiving our idols as gods, placing them up on a pedestal, when biologically, we're all the same, just different mentally? It makes no sense. And yeah, you guys are probably like, well, it's good to have role models, and 100%. But there's a difference between looking up to someone and idolizing them, especially when you begin to adopt certain unhealthy traits from your idols. And you're probably wondering, well, what kind of unhealthy traits? I want you to think about it. Think about certain traits that you see in your idols, and also think about potentially negative traits that could derive from those traits. Now, success is different to everybody, and especially in our idols, because success comes with struggle, and sometimes costs outweigh the benefits. So when our idols achieve success, we can naturally assume that they had to go through some kind of struggle. Struggles that we may not want to go through ourselves. I mean, maybe you'd idealize them to just come out perfect, but they're never perfect. So let's take a look at, Elon Musk, for example. He's a famous billionaire. He's agonizingly successful, but let's face it, he's got a couple things to work on. My point is, all of these advanced and well-off individuals out there aren't as perfect as they may seem, despite what you think. And one of my many attempts to be my sister, notice how I didn't say be like my sister, be my sister. I used to wake up diabolically early and just work. And you know what? That system works just fine for her. She's completely content waking up every single morning at 6 a.m. and just getting to it. But me, let me tell you guys something. Not only did my sleep schedule suffer, but my work suffered, and then my grades suffered. And it just formed a chain reaction of unfortunate events that shouldn't have even happened in the first place, because originally my schedule was fine and my work ethic was fine. I just changed it to be like my idol. And I know that I've been saying that, idolizing people is a problem for a while now, but right here is exactly why it is bad. You see, I tried so hard to adhere to that rigid schedule of hers, but I couldn't. And you know what? I don't ever plan on doing it ever again because it was awful. And like all of you crazy people out there who enjoy waking up in the morning, I like to sleep. And my work is better after I sleep. I knew all of that, but yet I still thought that I could shove myself into that super duper tight mold of a person who I thought I should be. And as a result, I developed a bunch of unhealthy habits. I compromised my sleep schedule and my academic feats and my overall mood, and it just wasn't great. And I know that I'm not the only one. We all do this. We all subconsciously alter key things about our personalities in an attempt to be like our idol. And when we're all caught up in resembling that ideal individual, we lose sight in who we really are. Being ourselves becomes uncharted territory. And what I'm about to say to you guys does not leave this room, okay? All 107 of you guys, I just want you to zip it, okay? I am a theater nerd, I know. And originally this year, I wanted to audition for the musical Legally Blonde because, it's awesome. But then I found myself looking up at that pedestal and comparing myself with my own sister. And I thought, you know what? The thing that I want to do seems super duper impractical to the things that she does every single day. So I dismissed my love for theater And I said, you know what? I can suck it up and just do the things that she does every single day, and I'll be happy. And so I gave up theater without even starting, and now it just chalks up to a really pathetic story. It's fine to have role models. It's actually amazing. Please have role models. It's good to have that person who you can bounce off of, grow with, and derive inspiration from. But when it comes to the point where you're avidly adopting unhealthy habits, when you're changing yourself in pursuit of becoming this person, then that becomes a problem. There must always be mitigation, an established line. You have to have distinctions, differentiate yourself from your idol. You have to be you. Because when you're idolizing your idol, not only are you robbing yourself of your sense of identity, but you're robbing your idol of their own. It forms to be a parasitic relationship, one in which no one benefits from. So what I want us to do is to go back to that person who we were thinking of before. And I know it's all Beyonce, you guys don't have to say it. But think about the certain qualities that you like about them, but also think about the qualities that you may not like about them, because those two may indirectly be coalescing. Let's think. Okay, also, I want you to look up at that pedestal, get a hammer, or your preferred weapon of destruction, and smash that pedestal, bring it to the ground. Or you know what, better yet, climb that pedestal, shove that person who's standing there off, and stand there instead. Because no matter what, we're all just humans, and we're all going to die someday, so why waste your time trying to be like somebody who you're not? Know that you are number one in your life, always and forever. So do what you want, love who you want, and don't waste your time trying to be somebody who you are not. You are your own idol. Thank you.